Eh, Part three. Like I said in middle school. So there was this one boy. He had transferred in from Chicago. And I knew how that felt because in middle school, you may not know this, but I lived in Springfield, Illinois. Yep. The cousin to Chicago. So, anybody who used to live there, hello to you. And if any of you people recognize me, then hi to you back. Anyway, so he transferred from Chicago, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I actually knew a cousin from Chicago, so I was like, okay. But then there was this. We started having these weird interactions. Like whenever he saw me, he just started cussing, and I'd be like, what the? What did I do to him? Why is he cussing at me? At everybody, he was cussing at me. And like with the other people, like when I saw him talking, it's not like I was sneaking around. I just happened to pass by sometimes. But it was just a normal conversation. But for me, when he was near me, all of a sudden he just started cussing. And then I was like, if this gets too serious, maybe I should tell the teacher. So, at first, I didn't say anything because it was just a few interactions. But then we had this after school program called 21st Century, and well, he was in it too, unfortunately. And that's when he just started picking on me. Like he just started calling me names, and he just kept cussing at me, and I was getting fed up. And then there was this one time he wasn't at the same distance as me. Like we weren't in the same neighborhood, but we were close. And there was this one time there was this new bus driver, and he just drove us all the way over here. Like my neighborhood was literally across the street. So I had to walk over there along with the other people who were over there. And he was one of those people. Actually, his place was like more near the church that we were just nearby. But anyway, in between, while I was walking out the bus, he just shoved me out of the way, and I just fell off, and nobody helped me. Like nobody helped me. Nobody even acknowledged that I fell. Everybody else was walking away, so I had to use my own strength. This is also back in the time when I had my imaginary friends. So yeah. So anyway, my friends helped me up and was like, sure, I used my own strength and my imaginary friends helped me. And so I was like, why that little? Well, obviously, like I told you, people are my pacifist, so I do not cuss. I promise from the very day. Well, I don't remember the exact day, but I know I was at least 9. And I promised that day that I would not cuss. Even when I became a teenager, I would not cuss. And I have lived from that law. Although there was few times I accidentally cussed, but I didn't realize sometimes that they were cuss word, or it just slipped out. Sometimes it was kind of cool. Some of my cousins wouldn't say a word, but these cousins I live with, they are tattletellers. So you can't tell them anything because they'll just spread the word to everybody in the nation and be like, look at this news. So yeah, I don't cuss. I don't do that. Nope, I do not cuss. I do not like being violent. But if people throw me off the grid, I will throw them off a bridge. Not literally, but I promise you, you mess with me, I will mess with you hard. I know I sometimes say 2 wrongs don't make a right, but let me tell you, sometimes you just go the wrong place. You do not want to be in my unhappy place. That's not pretty. It's not. Anyway, this guy, like, once that happened, I was like, okay, that's it. I pulled up with his bullying long enough. So finally, the next morning, when I walked in front of the school entrance where the bus always drops us off at, I saw the principal. I knew it was the principal. I knew the principal very well. I knew what the principal looked like. I was one of those people who just never approached the principal. I never got in trouble. I was actually a really good student. So, I just pretty much... So, I told the principal that there was this guy. I told the principal of this guy, of the guy. I won't tell you his name because I kind of forgot his name. Anyway, I told the principal about this guy, and the principal was very understanding. He was like, "Okay, I'll tell the kid to stop messing with you." And so the principal told him. And then the next day, at the 20th century thing, I was on the bus, and he was in the seat right in front of mine, and he kind of sits up on the seat. You know how you like kind of do this on your knees and just sit up on the seat? Yeah, he was leaning like that. And he was like, "So the principal told me that you told on me." And then I was like, "What is that supposed to be?" Like, I was worried for a moment there. I thought he was gonna threaten me or something. But then all of a sudden, he turned from the bully to the romance. I was like, "What the heck? Where'd this come from? Is he trying to hit on me? The heck?" It came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he was like, he wants me to be his girlfriend and everything. That was the sickest, weirdest thing. And everybody else was just talking among themselves. Now, one person turned to us and was like, "What the heck is this guy really hitting on her?" Like, I was the only one who was like that. And then for the rest of the time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what the H just happened?" I kind of told my family about it too, but I was like, "What the H just happened? Did I just go? What the heck?" I could not express in words how weird I was. Like, one of those cartoony people who just have their mouth open and then their eyes shifting like, what? I was one of those people. I was like in one of those Japanese anime where that person was like, "No, what the heck are you talking about?" I was stunned. That day was the single most shocking evidence I've had. And I gotta tell ya, it was weird. I was like, "Whoa. Okay, that's gotta be the weirdest interaction I've ever had with a boy." And I've had boys actually almost jaywalk near me just to touch my hand, which was weird. Like, nobody was really ever into me. Nobody even really asked me out. I remember sometimes in my high school, this won't be that important. I'm gonna tell you what high school I went to. So y'all know the old Truman High School? Yeah, that high school. I used to go there, and then they mixed Truman's kids with Kennedy's kids because Kennedy got shut down, and then they called it and now they call it Taylor High, even though some people don't really know it's Taylor High, so they kind of still refer to it as Truman. So anyway, yeah, I used to go there, and there were some guys who just passed by me and would tap on me and say, "Hey, this guy likes you." And then that happened in middle school too, never in elementary, but in middle school and high school, there would just be this one guy who would just tap me and be like, "This guy likes you." And I always was like, "Well, I know that's not true." And then I just walk out the exit along with all the other people. Let me tell you, that Truman was packed. Like, if you didn't hurry up and run out of that classroom, if you were not the first one, you would get zoomed. Like, let me tell you, high school was so big. I would speed walk just to get out of there. And then I'd be like, "Dang it, man, I'm too late." I would love it every time we could get out early. Because whenever our class just got dismissed early, I'd be like, "Okay, I'm out of here." I would sonic run out of here. There would be huge crowds during lunch, during class periods, during when everybody is about to leave, and during when everybody's entering. There'd be big lines everywhere. You'd have to hurry and try and make an entrance. It didn't even matter where you were going to the library, whether you were going to the bathroom, whether you were going to lunch, it didn't matter where you were going. There'd be a huge line everywhere. And you'd just be like, "Okay, Well, I made it. Yeah, mate. There were so many people everywhere. Like, it is exactly like those high school videos. You remember all those high school movies where there's like a bunch of people and then everybody's like, run, hurry, the line's coming. Like, it was like that. I had to go through that every day. I tried to make sure that I wouldn't get caught up in the line. If I saw an open area, I would get into my classroom and then boom to there. It got so freaking annoying doing that. But I still was able to do it because I knew how this line worked. I would stealthily go through it and then be like, okay, I am free. I am free. You know, there was this weird thing where this one high schooler actually told me that he actually was kind of scared of me just because of how quiet I was. And I was like, huh, you know, that's actually the first time that anybody ever said that they were scared of me. Like, sure, they always were like, huh, you know, when you're talkative, you actually sound like I remember this one time in my old high school. There was this one time in my old high school. I think it was my high school or middle school. I don't remember which one. But anyway, it was it was my old high school. I remember because it was biology. Anyway, there was in my old high school, it was called Southeast because, like I said, I was in Illinois for elementary, middle school, and some part of high school. Then I had to move, and now I'm in Michigan. So anyway, where was I again? Oh, right. So here I was. So, as I was saying, there were many times where I actually openly just said, well, yeah, I'm shy. What about it? And then there was a few times people, when they heard me talk and I was just rambling on about random stuff like TV and all that, they were like, you know, sometimes when you talk, you sound like a TV host. And I was like, TV host? That's ridiculous. I could never have the confidence a TV host could have. I still feel that way. But I know my confidence has grown a little bit more. It's just, but I can't help it. Sometimes I ramble. Sometimes I just say random stuff, but at the same time, I didn't mean to say it out loud, so I'll just be like, oh no, I didn't say anything. I was just talking amongst myself. And then sometimes people would just be like, how do you switch from speaking loudly to speaking quietly? I'll be like, if you get me angry, then I will talk as loud as heaven can carry me. But if I'm okay, then the chances are I'm just not going to talk to you and I'll just be as quiet as a mouse. And I promise you, many of my teachers just love that I'm just this quiet student who just does everything that she wants to do. I mean, sometimes if I know the answer, I've learned to raise my hand and be like, either the teacher will call on me or won't call on me. And sometimes I'm almost the only person who will raise my hand openly because I know this thing. Other people would just raise their hand like kind of reluctantly. Sometimes I do it reluctantly too. Like I raise my hand high like this, but then sometimes I get a little nervous and then my hand would slowly go down. It doesn't always happen, but most of the time it happened. But anyway, that's my story. Actually, I have a whole lot of other school stories to tell you, but I don't know if I want to tell you. I'm not really a vlogger. I just make random YouTube videos and just wonder if they'll become popular or if they won't become popular. You know, I'm just one of those people out there. Just one of those people making YouTube videos. I actually just do this for fun. I never even thought I would get 316 subscribers. By the way, the other 2 subscribers, I used my other accounts to subscribe to myself. So, yeah, those were kind of a lot. Anyway, that's my middle school stories and some of high school. I'll tell you some of my elementary stories too. I don't actually come on YouTube to become famous. Well, at first I did, but then I realized there are just some big time YouTubers and I just don't have the talent they have, so I'll just make any type of videos I want. Whether I'm in my pajamas, whether I'm in my regular clothes, whether I'm just hanging out with my little Duffy baby. It doesn't matter. So peace, YouTube.